Hey everybody, welcome to Kickin' with Kendall. Today we are just heading out. You can see I've got the Mini X loaded up on the flatbed trailer. We are heading to a house that I've been doing some work at, getting their backyard leveled out, and now we're at the point where they need to put in a sprinkling system. So heading there right now to dig the trenches for the sprinkling system. They should be all marked. Blue Stakes has been out and marked the utility lines, and the homeowner has marked the lines that I'm going to follow to put in to just dig the trenches. So heading there right now, and I'll bring you along. Thanks for joining. You can see that the property has all been marked for the lines that I'm going to be digging. I'm going to stay in center on most of them. Some of them will be on the edge. If he's got an X on it, like you can see over here, then I need to go follow the line on the edge of the bucket instead of right down the center. But anyway, we'll get going on this, and shouldn't take too long, I don't think, unless the ground's super hard, but we should be done here before too long. We've made it all the way down one side, across the back, and we're just coming back down the opposite side. The ends are always pretty hard to do because, especially in tight areas, because as you connect the different trenches, you know, they start to cave in a little bit where the two corners meet. And so with a bigger machine like this, well, comparative to like a little trenching machine or something, this is it's just a wider trench, and you got to drive over them and try to keep the trenches from collapsing in. I also try to use the back of the bucket to smooth out the bottom of the trench after I've got it down to the depth that I want it to be at. I slide the bottom of the bucket along, try to smooth it out a little bit. When people are putting their sprinkler pipes in the trench, you know, they're walking along it, and that tends to smash it down, level it out too while they're doing that. But I like to get it as smooth as possible as I go along here. I'm going about 18 inches deep, which is about the depth of the bucket. So that's how I'm just measuring, is I put the bucket in the ground, and when it looks like it's pretty close, it doesn't have to be exact, because the pipes, as they lay in there, aren't conforming to every little bump in the bottom. So it works out pretty good. Just got to get it pretty close to level. Right now I'm following the outside of this pipe. It does get a little hard to follow the line as the more you dig, because you start covering up the line that you're supposed to be following. Your tires go over it and the dirt just gets on it, so sometimes it starts getting hard to follow it exactly. But as long as it's pretty straight, PVC is pretty forgiving. This backyard definitely is going to look like a mess with all this dirt being moved, but it'll be really nice to work in. These trenches, they're 1 foot wide, and that really makes it nice when you're putting pipes in and things. It is a little overkill when you're only running one little PVC pipe, but sometimes you're running 3 and 4 and 5 pipes in one trench. And when you have that many pipes in there in just a little narrow trench, that's not very fun. It's hard to work in those. This one makes it plenty wide, at 1 foot wide, to give space to work around things, get things glued up nice. Seems like a slow process, but in actuality, it actually scoots along pretty good. It's only been an hour since I got here. That was before I unloaded the Mini X and everything. So I'd say after doing the walk around, setting up the camera and things, we're probably about 30 to 40 minutes in the digging so far. This dirt is a little wet, so it's sticky. Sometimes I can't get it out of the bucket. Then that makes it so I can't get the next scoop. So I have to mess with it. Bounce the bucket around, try and get the dirt to come out of it. Sometimes this Mini X really starts to buck, so you gotta let off the controls and get it to stop bucking. I don't know if all Mini X's are that way. My last one seemed like it was quite less when it came to the bucking. If you have experience on a Mini X and are doing stuff like this, mention down in the comments if maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know why it bucks so much. I try to be really easy on the controls, but it sometimes just gets going. If you have experienced that with the Kubota or even any other brand, let me know. It'd be interesting to hear other stories and maybe how you resolve that. Then I take the back of the bucket, put it in the bottom, and slide it along the bottom. Make it smooth. So you can see when I set the bucket in here right flat, that trench goes about to the top of the bucket right there. That tells me I'm pretty close to where I want to be. Gotta be careful around on these rocks. I don't want to hit the rocks, and I don't want to turn my machine and hit the whole side and get it all scraped up from the rocks. I put these rocks in for this neighbor of mine here, and so I guess I could always put them back in if I knock one over, but that's never the goal. Even though it seems like I have to do a lot of things twice, putting rocks back in isn't one of them. Looks like I'm coming up on a lateral line here that I need to do. So we'll come up to this and then I'll start doing that lateral line right here. Okay, let's get this as much as possible. Now, I'm gonna have a lot of tail swing on this and it's gonna hit those rocks for sure. So I need to get away a little bit. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll just turn this. I just really can't swing the back of the tractor all that much because of these rocks. Difficult situation, I must say. To be able to dig, it's hard when you can't swing the back around. But let's see what we can get right here. Should be able to get pretty close. To where I want to be, and maybe I'll swing it this way so the back isn't going over there much. You'd think that just this being on a pivoting spot that the whole thing can move, that would be all you need, but really when you can swing this boom over like I'm doing right now, it really helps out, especially if you're against a wall or a tight spot. It really helps out in being able to get to some places you wouldn't otherwise, and mostly because of that, how much you stick out in the back. And I know it looks like a lot of dirt that I'm taking out, but the good thing about it is once the sprinklers are in, I just bring, well, I can use the blade on this Mini X and just start pushing dirt in and get my ditching bucket and just start pushing dirt back in the holes. And also, it's easy to bring the skid steer here and just use the skid steer to push the dirt in, level it all out. It goes back in really fast. Now, I'm at risk of scooping my own tire and ripping it, so I gotta be careful as I get close to my tire here. In fact, I think that's as close as I'm going to get. And I'll back up here. I'll continue on with this line and then I can get the rest of that in a minute. Like a game of Tetris, you've got to decide how you dig these trenches and not block yourself in, or whatever's going to make it the easiest way to get around your trenches without caving everything. catching the end of my blade, trying to lift myself up. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Now there's a line just to my left, to your right currently, that I can start digging. One coming down the middle. Okay. So let's get that. See if I can drive over here without driving over or erasing the lines that I need to dig. Now, I do need to get close to the fence right here because this comes out that far. But I need to get up over here, so I need to connect the lines here, and it's not the easiest thing to do when you've already got trenches dug. I have to check my tail swing here, make sure I'm not going to hit that fence because it's pretty tight. So you can see my treads are over the trench that's already there. But we'll see if I can get this connected through. And this one doesn't, this one can be in the center. I'm not quite square with it, but I think I can get it coming through here. Pretty close. It's a little awkward having to look through the windshield on this direction. It's not as comfortable and as easy as doing it out the other side. But we'll get it. It does mess with your mind a little bit when you get used to working straight out the front. When you have to do it like this, it messes with your mind a little bit on your controls, but not too bad. It's just a little different. Okay. That might be as good as I can connect it up for now. I'll just make sure it's soft, that the dirt in the middle there is soft. That'll probably have to come out with a shovel. It's just too close to where I'm this size of machine. It's just too close to get it. But that centerpiece is about where I'm going to be digging here anyway, so maybe I'll be able to get some of it out just coming through like this. I don't always put my blade down, but I do like putting it down when I can because it really helps stabilize the Mini X. It does help stop the bucking some when I have that down. few more rocks in here throwing me around a little bit, but this machine is such a good machine. And again, I have nothing to compare it to except my Komatsu. And the Komatsu, I really liked it too. This is just a newer machine. It has some newer features on it that I really like. The automatic idle down, energy saver, I guess, or eco mode, economy mode. But I do like several of the things that this newer machine has. And there's a lot more expensive machines too that have even better features, but probably more than what I need. I don't do this full time. I just do it for fun. Doesn't this look like fun? This machine does most things pretty effortlessly if you're within its tolerances. Okay, that completes that trench. Now I can turn here. Tight areas make me a little bit nervous, especially when there's vinyl fences around. You just gotta go slow because you can take out a fence really easy without even trying. There's a sprinkler pipe there. Is that yours?
Must be abandoned.
One that maybe came off of their yard at one point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. They actually have professionals that maintain our yard.
Uh-huh.
And they came and like relocated all the sprinklers, but
They probably just left it in.
Yeah, you might find some fabric too. I don't know.
Yeah, there was some fabric that came up right there too. Show you here, right there when you're digging. Since I've got the trench going the opposite direction, if I just reach over there and pull that, it's going to cave in the whole side over there. So the way that it works is what I had to do over here is you have to just take a little bit at a time. Just take a little bit, you know, just an inch or two at a time until you get into that far enough so that it doesn't cave off the walls on the side.